Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. I know have been missing for like a month now, and I guess I don't really have an excuse. I kind of lost all my motivation to do anything for a while there, and then I guess I kind of do have an excuse. I started having like severe lower back pain, and I was completely incapable of sitting at all for like any period of time, so I couldn't like sit down and film because I was in excruciating pain. But my back feels a lot better, my chiropractor is amazing, and I'm ready to film. So it has been actually a month, because the very last video that I filmed that I never uploaded because I was just unhappy with how it turned out was a shop my stash, and today's video is another shop my stash. So I never ended up uploading the shop my stash that I did film, and I actually filmed 2 other videos because I was just very unhappy with the content because I was not feeling my best, so my content wasn't as good as I knew that it could be. So I'm feeling so much better now, and I'm just ready to film and do this little shop my stash. So since I never uploaded the last shop my stash, I won't be like going back to the products that were in that bag just because you never saw them in the first place. So we are actually just going to basically just do a little get ready with me, and I'm just going to use all the products I pulled on my face. So like always, I'm going to start with my eyes, and again, still trying to use up the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I'm making really good progress on it though. I feel like it will definitely get used up next year, for sure. In the meantime, I'm going to prime my eyes with that, and then I'm going to set it with the new powder in this month's bag, which is the KVD Vegan Beauty Lock-It Setting Powder in Translucent. So I'm actually going to run off camera and do that real quick, and I will be back to do a little eyeshadow look. Alright, so the eyelids are primed and set, and I'm looking ridiculous. So let's jump into the eyeshadow. In this month's bag, I pulled one of my absolute favorite palettes in my collection, which is the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. This is my holy grail, warm-toned, favorite eyeshadow palette. My eyes just teared up, and now I look high. So I'm very excited to have this in my little bag this month. And I've also pulled a single shadow, and it is actually a ColourPop pressed glitter. And I don't even remember why I bought this. I don't really like pressed glitters, but it's what I pulled, so I'm going to try to get some use out of it. I actually think that it is beautiful. It is the ColourPop pressed glitter in the shade Booked and Busy. And at first, when I was like looking at what I randomly selected, and I was like, I have this warm toned eyeshadow palette with this like blue glitter, but when you look at the glitter, it actually has some like gold and orange shifts to it. So I think that it might be like a cool little contrast to add to a look. So let's see what I can come up with today. I'm going to first take this shade called Sauced and mix in a little bit of the shade right next to it called Low Blow, and use that as my transition shade. I'm sorry if you can hear my dog chewing on her ball. It's better than her digging at the bed and chasing her tail the whole video. So I'm just gonna let her do her little thing. If you saw my favorite shade from each palette that I own video, which I uploaded months ago now, maybe about a year ago, actually, now that I think about it, I have to go in with the shade Cayenne in this palette. It is just my favorite eyeshadow shade in this palette. I cannot explain why, but it is just so beautiful, and I love the tone and just everything about this shade. So I'm going to put that through my crease, and this is honestly the shade that I want to have standing out the most in my crease matte shades. And I am going to go back in and kind of build that up. And I don't want this look to be super smoky, so I'm not actually going to go in with an even deeper shade. I'm just gonna kind of leave it here. I am going to take my NYX glitter primer. Also, disregard my nails. I was supposed to get them done like 3 days ago, but I completely forgot about my appointment. So now I have to wait until tomorrow. So just pretend they look perfect and pristine. This color, by the way, is Lights Lacquer Cherry Jelly, and it is beautiful. And this is going on 2 weeks now, and the polish itself still looks phenomenal. So Lights Lacquer kills it. But back to the makeup, going in with my NYX glitter primer and applying this all over my lid. This is actually a habit that I have now picked up from Beau here on YouTube, and I definitely find that it makes my all my shimmer shadows just look 10 times more pretty. So for my lid shade, I'm going to go in with Dirty Talk, which is almost like a lackluster shimmer shade, but I picked up the wrong one. But for the look that we are doing today, it is exactly what I want. I love the tone of this shadow, and I didn't want to go in with something that was like so insanely shimmery on its own, because we are going to be putting that glitter shadow on top, and I want that to kind of have its moment to shine. I'm gonna dip back into Cayenne just a little bit to kind of blend Cayenne and Dirty Talk together. And that's basically all we're going to do with the eyeshadow palette, besides the lower lash line, which we will do in a little bit. Now I'm going to take this glitter shade and very lightly tap that over my lid, being very careful to avoid getting it into my eyeball. So I'm not going to pack it on. I think that looks gorgeous. That glitter did literally exactly what I wanted it to do, which it is pulling more orange because it's sitting on top of that really warm base shadow. So I am very pleased with how that turned out. So I am going to do a little bit of liner, and I am happy to report that I have finally, after months and months, used up all my little mini KVD Vegan Beauty tattoo liners. So now I have moved on to this Wander Beauty Highline Liquid Eyeliner, which I got in a Boxy Charm, I believe. And now I'm going to work on using this up. So this may be all you see in my Shop My Stashes for the next few months. I'm not going to do any wings today. I'm just going to thinly line both of my lash lines. Obviously, I'm going to do both, but I'm going to do that off camera, and then we'll come back. Liner is on, and now we can start on the base makeup, which is my favorite part. So for face primer again, somehow I pulled my Farsali Skintune Blur, and I'm not actually super upset about it because it just gives me the chance to try to use even more of it up. So I'm just going to prime my face with some of this. I've talked about this 1.5 million times on my channel. I do not like this. I feel like it does literally nothing for the steep price that it was. Alright, so the foundation that I pulled for this month is my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Matte Foundation, and I actually like to apply this with a brush. I have been on a little bit of a kick of applying my foundations with a sponge, but I know that I just prefer this one with a brush, so I'm not even gonna go in with a sponge. I did start a new job where I have to wear a mask at this job because technically it is a food service job. I'm now a barista, and I wear a mask the whole time I'm working, and I have been having the worst mask knee. So I have actually been going for a bit more full coverage, which is very strange for me. So my foundation is on, and I went ahead and corrected my under eyes while I was at it, because that is something I never skip out on doing. That was my Becca under eye corrector in the shade light medium. For my concealer this month, I'm going to be using my e.l.f. HD Lifting Concealer, which is my absolute favorite concealer of all freaking time. It just looks so beautiful and like creamy under the eyes, and the texture and consistency of it is like this beautiful creamy gel formula, and the shade range is awful. This is not a good shade for me, but it is the lightest one that they have. But I just love the finish that this gives my under eyes, and the amount of coverage that it has is a beautiful medium coverage, so I continue to use it even though the color is a bit off. And I'm going to set my under eyes with some loose setting powder, the same KVD Vegan Beauty one. I'm also going to set the middle of my forehead, around my nose, and my chin with the same powder and my sponge. Still working on my Rimmel Stay Matte powder, but I have a huge amount of tan in it now, so I'm going to use this to set the rest of my face. And now we can finish up the eyes and the eyebrows. I'm going to be using my Patrick Ta Tinted Brow Wax for my eyebrows. I was switching between this and my Surratt Expressioniste Brow Pomade, but my dog chewed it once. I found it. It was salvageable. She found it and chewed it up the rest of the way, so I no longer have my Surratt Expressioniste Brow Pomade, which I'm not too torn up about not having it, because it was good, but it wasn't the absolute most amazing thing ever. I definitely prefer the Patrick Ta Brow Wax, but I am a little upset because it was super expensive. I think it was like $35 or something for like this tiny little thing of brow gel basically. So I'm a little upset that it got like completely wasted. Like, it was a huge waste of money, but I'm not upset about losing the actual product itself. And then I am going to press these big old brows down with my finger, so they stay nice and fluffy, of course. So I'm going to finish up my lower lash line, and all I'm going to do is take that same brush that I was using in my crease with Cayenne and blend that on my lower lash line. And that's all I'm doing for the lower lash line. I did pull a little liner, and this is the ColourPop Creme Gel Liner in the shade Gobie, and it is a really pretty light coral, so I am going to use this to line my waterline. I think that it'll be really pretty paired with this warm toned palette, and I think it'll look pretty because it could pull a bit more orange with some looks, look a bit more pink with other looks. For mascara, I did pull out this little mini sample of the Benefit They're Real mascara, but I do plan on using it up this month, so I also still have my Milk Makeup Kush mascara in here as well to land on when I run out of this. So I am going to do my lashes off camera because I take a really long time to do my lashes. Also, I have started curling my eyelashes, so this is the Japonesque lash curler, so I'm going to curl my lashes off camera and pile on the mascara, and I will be back to finish up the face and the lips. The eyes are completely done, and now we can finish up the face. For bronzer, I pulled the bronzer from this matte Pacifica duo. This is the Desert Sunset Matte Blush and Bronzer, and the bronzer shade is called Desert Sunset. The formula of this bronzer is like more firm, and I prefer to use more firm bronzers with this ColourPop F21 brush. And we are going in with a little bit of the wave technique, as I typically always do. For blush, I actually have another Trestique little mini stick. This is the Trestique mini blush stick in the shade Moroccan Rose. I keep saying another because like in the bag last month there was a Trestique highlight, but you didn't see last month's bag. And I like this formula best applied with my fingers. I like to apply the highlight with my fingers, this blush, and I do actually have a Trestique bronzer stick now, and I think I like that applied with my fingers too. It's kind of strange to like hear like I like to apply my bronzer stick with my fingers, but it looks really pretty. And I'm going to take this a little bit all around my nose to give like that I was just out in the cold for a few hours look. And for highlight is actually one of my favorite highlighters of all time, and that is the Becca Champagne Pop Shimmering Skin Perfector highlight. So I'm going to use this flattened ColourPop brush to apply this highlighter, and I kind of just like use these little strokes to buff it into my skin. And I am going to take some of that on a little teeny tiny brush and apply that to my inner corners. And I know in the past I have said that I don't include setting sprays in my makeup bags because I like to keep them on a rotation, but I am actually going to start trying to use my setting sprays up. The 3 that I like have actually used enough of. They all have about this much. You can't even see it. This is about this full, and all 3 of my setting sprays actually have about that much in them, so I just want to use them up at this point. So I'm going to start with the Anastasia, and I might end up going through all 3 this month, who knows. And for the lips, I have more of a pink combo, so I'm hoping it looks okay with this eye look. The lip liner that I'm going to take is the Beauty Vault lip liner in the shade Beau Babe. These lip liners are extremely pigmented, so I'm going to try to go in with a light hand and then blend it out. The lipstick is the ColourPop Lippie Sticks in the shade Westie, and this is a matte lippie stick. It's not what I was expecting it to be at all. It's like a Nicki Minaj, like, Barbie doll pink. Let me take some more of this lip liner, see what I can do. So this isn't my favorite lip combo in the world, and I don't know if I'll be wearing it again, but it'll do. And the lip gloss in this month's bag is the Morphe lip gloss in the shade Frosé. I do not really like to advertise Morphe, but I do have some Morphe products, and I'm not going to just throw them away. I do want to get my money's worth, so I will continue to use them, but I do not really support Morphe. That is the finished look. This lip combo actually turned out really pretty, and I think that the eyes look really pretty as well. I just don't think I would really pair them together. Let me take my hair clips out so we can see the full effect. Alright, so this is the finished look and the full effect. I feel really pretty, and I'm so glad that filming this video went well. I have really truly missed filming. I just needed to find my motivation, and I needed to not be in pain every time I sat down in this stupid chair. So if you enjoyed this video, I hope you will like it and subscribe before you go, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!